She wore minimal armor, just reinforced plating across her chest and forearms. Stupid, really. Gorath wore full combat exoskeleton, powered servos at every joint, energy shields flickering across his massive frame. The crowd roared as Gorath entered from the opposite gate. 8 feet of pure Kragath muscle, scales like polished obsidian, for arms ending in claws that could tear through starship hull plating. 43 victories. 0 defeats. He raised all 4 arms, and the crowd lost their collective minds, a tsunami of alien voices shaking the stadium. Kira Vixiaunel actually yawned. Thorax buzzed with laughter. The creature doesn't even understand the danger. The referee, a hovering drone, projected the rules in 17 languages simultaneously. Standard galactic combat protocol. Fight ends at surrender, incapacitation, or death. All weapons permitted. Arena boundaries must be respected. Combatants acknowledge and prepare. Gorath slammed his primary fist together, cracking the air like thunder. Energy fields sparked between his knuckles. Kira Vixkaikthianik. Once left, once right. The sound carried through the audio pickups, disturbingly casual. This is embarrassing, muttered Thorax. The humans sent a sacrifice. They don't even understand our honor customs. But I wasn't so sure. Something about the way she moved. Like water. Like wind. No wasti motion. Every adjustment precise. The referee drone's lights cycled through amber to red. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1. The bell never finished ringing. Kira Vex moved. I don't mean she attacked. I mean she moved in a way that shouldn't have been possible for a creature with her physiology. One moment standing relaxed. The next she was inside Gorath's guard, too close for his massive arms to track. Her hand, just her bare hand, drove into his chest plate where the armor segments met. The crack echoed through every speaker in the stadium. Gorath's eyes went wide. His energy shields flickered, destabilized. He swung with his secondary right arm, claws extended, fast enough to blur. She ducked under it, grabbed his primary left wrist with both hands, and twisted. Another crack. Louder. The Kragath champion, undefeated warrior of 17 cycles, screamed. Actually screamed. His arm bent at an angle that defied skeletal structure. She hadn't just broken it. She had compromised the joints so completely that armor plates popped free, raining to the arena floor like broken teeth. When the 7 hells, breathed Thorax. Gorath stumbled back, shock registering across his reptilian features. He activated his chest cannon, the one he usually saved for finishing blows. Pure plasma, hot enough to vaporize most organic compounds. The charge-up took 0.4 seconds. She didn't give him 0.2. Kira Vex launched herself upward, using his broken arm as leverage, planting one foot on his chest plate and the other on his shoulder. For one impossible moment, she was above him, silhouetted against the arena lights. Then she dropped, bringing her elbow down on the back of his skull where the spine met the cranium. The impact drove Gorath to his knees. His plasma cannon discharged into the arena floor, melting a crater 3 meters wide. The crowd had gone silent. Completely silent. 70,000 beings holding their collective breath. She landed in a crouch, rolled, came up behind him. Gorath tried to turn, tried to bring his remaining functional arms to bear. She was faster. Her hands found purchase on his head and lower jaw. No, guisper thorax. No, that's not possible. The leverage alone requires. Kira Vix pult. I will never forget the sound. Like tearing fabric, but deeper. Veta. More final. Gorath's head separated from his shoulders, spine pulling free like roots from soil. Purple blood sprayed in arterial patterns across the white arena floor, painting abstract patterns that would fuel nightmares for cycles to come. She dropped the head. It hit the ground with a meaty thump. The body followed, collapsing in sections, servos whining as they powered down forever. The gambling terminals blinked with impossible odds, all heavily favoring the same outcome. Victory for Gorath the Unbreakable. Total annihilation of the human. I press my sensory stalks against the observation window, watching the arena floor 300 meters below. The human stood in the center ring, rolling her shoulders like she was preparing for a morning stretch instead of ritual combat. Her name was Kira Vex, according to the datapad, though that meant nothing to most spectators. Humans were new to the galactic scene. Weak, fragile. Their bones snapped under standard gravity on half the civilized worlds. 10,000 credits says the mammal doesn't survive the opening charge, clicked Thorax beside me. His mandibles gleamed with anticipation. I should have taken that bet. Would have made me rich beyond measure. But I was too busy studying the human female, noting the strange calm in her movements. Kira Vex stood over her kill, breathing steady, not even winded. She looked up at the observation windows, at the thousands of stunned faces pressed against the glass. Her expression remained neutral, professional. Then she smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. The referee drone hovered uncertainly, sensors trying to process what had just occurred. The fight had lasted 11 seconds. 11 seconds from bell to brutal execution. Finally, the drone speakers crackled to life. Victory to the human. Kira Vex. The betting terminals across Krythak Station went into absolute meltdown. Credits vanished from accounts. Fortunes evaporated. 3 separate bookmakers suffered what the medical staff later called catastrophic stress failures, which was a polite way of saying they collapsed when they realized how much they owed. I watched Kira Vex walk toward the exit gate, stepping over pieces of Gorath like they were scattered laundry. Her boots left bloody footprints on the pristine white floor. Behind me, Thorax made a sound I had never heard before. Something between a whimper and a prayer. That was impossible, he kept repeating. Bioméchanically impossible. Humans are classified as soft tissue species. Fragile. Weak skeletal structure. Limited muscle density compared to what? I interrupted, unable to tear my sensory stalk from the arena. Compared to the corpse she just made? The arena speakers crackled again. An announcement. The games would continue in 20 minutes after cleanup crews finished. As if anyone could focus on another match. As if anything could follow what we just witnessed. Around us, the observation deck erupted into chaos. Voices in 100 languages, all asking the same questions. How did she move that fast? Where did that strength come from? What kind of combat training produced something that efficient, that brutal? A Vrelian ambassador near the viewport turned to his aide. Give me everything. Every file the humans have submitted to the Galactic Council. Military assessments. Biological surveys. Everything we think we know about them. Sir, we already have comprehensive. We have lies. The ambassador hissed. Or incomplete data. Clearly incomplete data. I made my way down to the lower levels, using my press credentials to access the fighter preparation zones. Security was tight, but confusion worked in my favor. Guards were too busy arguing with each other, trying to make sense of what happened. Kira Vex sat alone in a small chamber, cleaning blood from her hands with a white towel. She looked up when I entered, those strange human eyes fixing on me with unnerving focus. Brown, calm, completely unbothered by the fact that she had just ripped apart a galactic champion like he was made of paper. Press? She asked. Her voice was surprisingly soft. Observer, I corrected. I write analysis pieces for the Outer Rim networks. May I ask you some questions? She shrugged. A very human gesture. Sure. Why not? How? The question tumbled out before I could structure it properly. How did you do that? Gorath weighed 4 times your mass. His armor alone should have. Physics, she said simply, tossing the bloody towel aside. Leverage. Anatomical knowledge. Speed over strength. Pick your explanation. But humans are classified as peaceful. Your species' submission to the Council emphasized diplomatic solutions, cultural exchange, scientific cooperation. Nothing about combat capability. Her smile returned. That same unsettling expression from the arena. We are peaceful. Absolutely. We prefer talking to fighting. Every time. Then what was that? That, she said, standing and stretching, joints popping in sequence, was what happens when talking stops working. See, here's the thing about humans. We spent 10,000 years perfecting ways to kill each other. Different methods, different styles. We got really good at it. Then we got smart enough to realize killing each other was stupid, so we mostly stopped. But the knowledge doesn't go away. The training doesn't vanish. We just pointed it in other directions. She walked to a small locker, pulled out a clean jacket. The council worlds assume peaceful means weak. They see our diplomatic approach and think we cannot fight. Different concepts. But the violence, I pressed. The brutality of it. Efficient, she corrected. Quick. Gorath died faster than he would have in a prolonged match. Less suffering. That is mercy, actually. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. A chime sounded. Another fighter entered, a Solvax mercenary built like a tank, covered in scars and battle markings. He stopped when he saw Kira, recognition flashing across his face. Your next opponent, he rumbled. After my match. Looking forward to it, she replied pleasantly. He stared at her for a long moment, then slowly backed out of the room. I heard his footsteps retreating down the corridor at increasing speed. I think he just forfeited, I observed. Probably wise. She finished sealing her jacket. This tournament has 15 more scheduled fights. By tomorrow morning, I estimate 12 withdrawals, maybe 13. Word travels fast, and you will fight whoever remains? If they are brave enough to show up. She looked at me directly again. You want to know the real secret? Why humans are dangerous? I nodded, unable to speak. We adapt, she said quietly. Put us in any environment, give us any challenge, we figure it out. We learn. We overcome. We have been doing it since we lived in caves and hunted with sharpened rocks. That instinct never left. The council sees our cities and thinks we are civilized, domesticated. But civilization is just a choice we make every single day. Underneath, we are still the creatures who climbed to the top of our food chain despite being weaker than everything that wanted to eat us. She headed for the door, paused at the threshold. You should mention that in your article. Humans prefer peace. We really do. But preference is not the same as capability. Would be unfortunate if people forgot the difference. Then she was gone, leaving me alone with my notes and the growing certainty that the galaxy had seriously miscalculated. Above us, the arena announcements continued. Fight schedules. Betting odds being frantically recalculated. The machinery of violence grinding forward. But everyone knew the tournament was already over. Kira Vex had won the moment she stepped into that ring. Everything else was just formality. I filed my report that evening. Within 6 hours, it had 17 million views. By morning, the Galactic Council had called an emergency session. Topic of discussion, complete reassessment of human threat classification. They called the Human Week. Past tense. They would never make that mistake again.